5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess. Oh, it's a mess.
Hello, everybody, and
Oh, it's a
welcome to the
mess.
podcast. It's a mess,
Oh, it's a
sis.
mess.
So, what exactly is a mess?
Oh,
A
it's a
mess is a
mess.
situation or a state of
Oh,
affairs
it's a
that is
mess.
confused or full of difficulties.
It's a
The
mess.
mess is when things don't
Oh,
go the
it's
way
a
you plan.
mess.
It is when you have to go off script,
5,
improvise,
6,
ad
7.
lib, sit through the
It's a
awkwardness,
mess.
and breathe through the pain until you
Oh, it's
come
a
out on the other
mess.
side, because you will come out
It's a
on the other
mess.
side. It is everything that makes
Oh, it's
life
a
interesting
mess.
and transformative. It is
Oh,
what
it's
we
a
are here to do.
mess.
It is how we learn
Oh,
how
it's a
to be.
mess.
So, join us as we
Oh, it's a
dive into this
mess.
week's mess.
Oh, it's a mess. Oh.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. I am Jessica, co host on my favorite podcast. I am a writer, a singer, and an overall tough ass weirdo. A millennial woman living in LA and figuring this shit out. While I've had plenty of strategies about how things would go, my life had other plans. So I'm wading through this mess with y'all, one thought provoking topic at a time.
And I'm Rena. I'm your other podcast co host. I am a licensed social worker by trade, writer, musician, film buff, tech enthusiast, artist, truth seeker, and overall creative director slash producer by passion. I'm repping the East Coast. I am a DMV native. I was born in DC, spent some time in PGMOCO for those who know, and now I reside in Baltimore.
Whoop whoop. And so that's us. This episode is called or titled Daughters Will Love Like You Do. And so we're going to get into that in a little bit. But before we do, we're going to get into the mess segment of this episode. And I'm going to ask Rena, what's your mess? What's the mess since the last time we spoke?
Oh my gosh. The mess. The mess is just life. It's just, and not I'm not gonna say not in a bad way. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on, a lot of energy. I gotta
Yeah.
fire my barber. So that's what I'm going through.
Why you got to fire your barber?
Ah, this is why I have to fire my barber. This right here. This shit right here.
If you're watching
Um,
the video, you saw. But if you didn't, explain, Rena, to the ones who are just listening.
this dude, because I'm trying to like curb my usage of the word nigga, but he's a nigga.
Okay.
Anyway, this dude cut a part in my hair the size of fucking chapstick. Like, just you could literally just slide a chapstick in my fucking part and it would stay. And I knew he was fucking shit up when he kept looking at me and then saying, mm. And
Mm,
then he would go back, zzz, 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 And then
mm.
I heard him whisper under his breath, it's going to the left. And
See?
I was And I'm just so happy to be back in the barber chair. I didn't really think about it, but there were so many red flags. So then he handed me the mirror, and then I look at it, and I didn't really see any issue because you don't really see shit until you wash your hair.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, yeah, it looks fine. He's like, you sure? I was like, that's odd. Why are you asking me? Are you sure? When you hand me the mirror, your ass should be sure that my shit is okay.
Right.
And I said, yeah, yeah. And then I went and washed my hair immediately, like I always do. And when I looked in the mirror, I said, the fuck did he do to me? Like, my shit was gone. Gone. And he cut me. Like it's like I have like two scratches. Like, I just said, okay. And I should have known because the way he said goodbye, he was like, thank you so much. Like, he's just real thankful. Real thankful. And
That you didn't go off on him.
I didn't go off because I didn't see it.
Damn.
So
Damn. That's tragic. I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear about your chapstick size mess this week.
yes, nothing some castor oil can't fix, I hope.
Praise him. I'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you, sister.
So yes. You, how
Yeah.
are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Um, I think this week has been a week of setting expectations um and recognizing the expectations I have for others.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
it's just been like a realization and having tough conversations with myself of saying like, who am I? What do I want? What do I expect of others? Am I being clear in my expectation? And really assessing that. And that's what I've been kind of dealing with. Just like recognizing that maybe I'm unclear on certain things. I was talking to a friend of mine about a couple different scenarios and situations. I know. Shock, shock.
You,
Me,
Virgo,
me.
you,
I know. Tragedy.
whole you.
Tragedy. I know. Um, but she let me know. She was like, I feel like that's kind of unclear. And I was like, oh shit, you might be right.
Shout out
Okay.
to that friend. Shout out to
Shout out to
honest friends, because
yeah.
that's real love
That
right
is real
there.
love. And I did have to take an assessment and be like, you're probably right. I haven't been clear. I haven't been clear with myself. I haven't been clear with other people. You know what I mean? So that's just been the mess this week. It's just that I'm like, okay, I need to take assessment of who I am, what I want, what I'm expecting of myself, what I'm expecting of others, and really, letting that guide me for the future. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my mess.
Sounds like you've been working.
I'm trying.
Ooh.
I'm trying to be a better person at the end of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the real work,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into this good old topic. I was actually really excited about this. So,
Ooh.
um, I don't know. Do you want to bring us in, Rena?
Yeah, we'd like to tell you kind of, what brought us to this topic. And I think it's pretty obvious. We had our last episode, not our last episode, but a few episodes ago, talking about our mother's gifts.
Mm,
And, Father's Day is tomorrow. By the time you hear it, it'll be long gone. But, how can we do a Mother's Day episode and not do a Father's Day episode? So that's really what kind of brought this up.
yeah,
Jess is really excited for this episode. Me, I'm excited for it, but I also acknowledge that it's going to be kind of a hard episode for me. But I'm going to try to approach everything from beyond my daddy issues,
okay,
and really just approach the topic from a place of vulnerability, truth, honoring myself, grace, and forgiveness, so that I can experience peace and joy. And
right.
for me personally, that's my intention. So remind me of that throughout this.
I
That is
will.
my intention. That's my intention for this episode, for myself, and for everybody listening. You
Yeah,
know. So yeah, that's how we gonna get into it. We're gonna get into
yeah,
it. Into
yeah.
it. So we are gonna dick it down like your
Dig it
daddy did
down.
your mama, but not
Ooh,
really.
ooh. Dick it down, then.
And this is on the agenda for this episode. We and maybe you will define for our and yourselves what love is, what our father's love looks like, and thus what our love looks like, because
Right.
that's the whole point of this episode. Daughters will love like you do, which is we love like our fathers do.
Hmm.
And then we hit the impact section. So we're going to discuss like just the impact of love as we've defined it, and how we truly feel about it, and how it's played a role in our life.
Yeah.
And lastly, we will discuss how we cope with all of this,
Yeah.
and how we will address our view on love, for the betterment of ourselves from here on out.
Yeah.
And another piece is, feel free to pause throughout the sections. We'll make it clear kind of what section we're in. Feel free to pause to give yourself time to answer if you want to. You could even jot down your answers and your thoughts, anything that came up for you. Again, these are all suggestions, but I'm just mentioning it because we really want you to be a part of the conversation. That's the
Yeah.
whole Yeah, that's the whole goal of this, is to start a conversation, to start you thinking, about yourself, and your goals in life, and how you feel about things that have happened in your life, and how that plays a part in who you are now. Um, yeah, I think that's it. You have anything to add?
Okay. I don't. I think you did that beautifully. So I guess now we're going to go ahead and get into the definition then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'll start that out. And
You will.
so love, according to Google, y'all know my favorite, it encompasses a range of strong and positive emotional and mental states, from the
Sure
most
does.
sublime virtue or good habit to the deepest interpersonal affection, and to the simplest pleasure. Um, So that's what love is for me. I agreed wholeheartedly with Google's definition. And so then to think about my father's love, I think when I sat and thought about it, I felt like my father's love in the beginning was very picturesque. It was very much so what you see in the movie. Like, I was a daddy's girl. Like, I adored him and he adored me. And like, I really felt understood. And I never needed to explain myself to him because he got me. Like, he just got me. He protected me and he loved me. And then he was gone. Like, just gone. Like, damn, okay.
Wow. I was
But
rooting for him.
man, but not dead. Like, he didn't die. He was just removed from my life. So like my parents divorced and he disappeared. Um, and so it left a void that was really irreplaceable. It left me shaken. And after many, 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 many years, and this was after my mother passed away, he returned to my life and we slowly built a relationship and a rapport. So much so that before he passed away, he called me his best friend. And I was like honored. I was like, wow, that's really incredible. But before then, it was very difficult to I think be a daddy's girl and not have a daddy. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's this
Yeah.
person that, like, literally, my father and I were very similar creatures. Like, I am the embodiment of Paul. And, like, a lot of things that I do and I feel and I think and I just understand he understood. There were so many times in my youth when he was there that he came to my defense because my mother didn't understand me quite the way he did. Now, as you guys know from the Mother's Day episode, me and my mother were very close, but it was work. It was effort to get us to that place where we kind of had an understanding. But my dad, I never had to work for that. He just understood that. And then to not have him there, to now have to be explaining who I am, it was just very, it was hard.
It
It
sounds
was hard.
frustrating.
It was frustrating and I was pissed. I'm like, where you at, man?
Right.
Where you at? Like, so I don't know. That's
Damn.
that's my father's love. It was there and wonderful, and then it wasn't. And then when we rekindled, it was tumultuous because, at that point I'm grown and I'm mad. So I don't know. That's pretty much the overall view of my father's love
What
and
about your
love.
love? What does your love look like?
Oh, but that's the impact.
You think
Are we just?
that's the impact for you? Okay.
I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's the impact for me. What my love looks like now because of what my father's love looked like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
let me hear your
Okay.
love. What's your definition of love? And then describe your father's love.
Since I am such an advocate for self definitions, I just decided to define love for myself, by myself,
Okay.
with myself.
She said she don't need no Google.
Um, I don't
Huh.
need no damn Google though. No, I do need Google. I need you. Please
Don't
don't
go
ever
away.
leave me. um, for me, love is positive energy.
Hmm.
I think it's what makes things feel good. It is appreciation, grace, validation, joy, all that feel good shit.
Yeah.
You know, my father's love. Oh man, I thought when I had to talk about this that I would be like a lot more like angry, but I'm glad that I'm not having that energy right now. So that's good.
Good. Good.
So my father's love, absent. It
Damn.
looked absent,
Hmm.
hidden, avoidant, cowardly, weak, hesitant, surface.
Damn.
Just kind of like the way that I'm describing it, just in these very jerky, short, succinct statements.
Hmm.
And you don't really have any additional information. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like this is all I know. These words, their definitions on Google and the dictionary. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Not very detailed or developed. It's just kind of slapped on. This is what I got.
Damn.
And for me, as part of my definition, I went into what my love looks like.
Okay.
So for me, my love, it's funny because in my spirituality group, and shout out to that group, it's called Silhouette. It's in Baltimore. They have Zoom meetings. If you're on Meetup, check them out. It stands for Spiritually in Tune Lesbians.
Dope.
Yeah. So maybe I'll leave that info like somewhere on
Okay.
Instagram, somewhere if people want to follow up with that, because it's just a really dope experience and it's changed me and helped me tremendously.
That's
Um,
incredible.
so as being a part of that group, we're
Hmm.
in the process of uncovering what our love looks like.
Okay.
And we were asked to define it. And that's why I'm so big on definitions. I got it from this group.
Yeah.
Anywho, I said my response to that question was my love looked like a deer caught in headlights.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
you know where you want to go, but not why you want to go there or when you will actually arrive. It's just kind of erratic and impulsive. You're just running across the street towards a goal because you should, but not with like this innate knowing or understanding or any cautiousness, none of that. It's just like,
Yeah.
just go over there.
Right.
And so, kind of just in analyzing what I described my love to be, and
Hmm.
then what I described my father's love to be,
Hmm.
they sound similar.
Damn.
So I feel like I've come to this realization. Had to take a minute.
I see.
That I do love like him.
Hmm.
And that just pisses me off because I want it to be better so bad. But
Yeah.
oh, no, I do.
Yeah.
So now we're pretty much in the impact at this point.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about what your love looks like.
Okay. So I said, the way that things were with my father, I feel like that left a scar, and I find because of that, my love shows up as hesitancy.
Mm,
Like, I don't love very quickly. Um, I have crushes very quickly. I think I've said that before. And Rena knows. I'll be like, I
yeah,
got a crush. I got a crush. I got a crush. But I never believe that people are going to stay around that long. I don't trust very quickly. And I look for signs that you will abandon me and I will sever any real emotional ties to you. So I don't want to give you any opportunity to crush me. Um, and I feel like that kind of shows up to other people as being hard to love, or maybe that I'm like cold in a sense. Um, so in terms of like daughters loving like their fathers, I feel like my core wants that beginning love like that I got from my father. So the safety and the security that I felt as a child. I want to be understood and I want to be adored and I want to be cared for. But then like my soul remembers all the tears and all the sadness from when he left and was gone. And I mean, the truth I feel like is that I have abandonment issues and I'd rather not be attached and or like leave you first before you can hurt me. So, like I said, I get
mm,
crushes really easy or whatever, but it takes very little for me to be like, you can ask Rena. I'll be like, oh, I got a crush. And then 2 weeks later, she'd be like, what about that? I'm like, oh no, that ain't no thing no more. I'm good on that. And I don't know. I feel like, yeah, my style is to I want the love and affection and attention and I want to give you all of that as well, whoever I'm into, but I am definitely always on the lookout for the hint that you could leave or the hint that you could abandon me or the hint that you're not what I think you are. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the thing too. So you know, seeing my dad in this light early on as just like this person who's just this, you look up to your parents and especially I looked up to my parents. My parents actually, when I was younger, they won Parent of the Year award in their school district when I was like in elementary school.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So they were like these incredible, amazing people to me and in my life. And then to see you become completely different or to not be living up to that, expectation. So I guess I look for that in everyone and not just romantic relationships, even in friendships. Like if I feel like you're that kind of person, I just remove my full heart. I won't give it to you. I can give you a small piece and we can still even be friends, but like my full affection or my full like anything, I can't. Not that I can't, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to be like, oh yeah. And that's why I feel like maybe that's why I'm not like I just don't move fast. I move very, very slow because it's like you bound to do something to fuck up. And I don't be wrong. That's the other thing too. I be right a lot of times. So it's just like a self actualizing bullshit that I'm just like, I know you're gonna fuck up. And then they fuck up. And then I'll be like, okay, I was right.
I was gonna say that I'm like, because you know what they say about people who look for things,
You find it.
right?
Yeah.
But and then when you were talking about moving really slow, I move incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like that. Like I have like people I've known and been friends with for years that like I'm just like I mean like 15 years. Like I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, I guess you're a friend. Like
Damn.
like I'm very guarded in that way.
Uh,
And in a way it makes me think of like where am I not extending grace? Because like nobody's perfect. I know I'm not perfect. But it's like that fear makes me want to have so much control and make sure that this person like does things that I'm not even capable of doing, which is
uh,
like getting it right all the time. So it's just when you say that, like it just really like triggers something in my head and I'm like, damn.
damn.
Like I got to think about that. Yeah.
That's real shit though. Yeah, wow. Just extending grace in all areas of my life is that's definitely a practice I need to like work
Right.
on. Yeah.
Cuz when you're looking for people to fuck up, they will.
Yeah. Yep.
And so is it really that they fucked up or is it just my perception and my fear?
The
Yeah.
fear. It's definitely the fear. I feel like it's definitely the fear. I recognize it myself. Like when I recognize the triggers too. And I'm just like, this is a thing. But I haven't learned how to I haven't learned what that looks like to counteract it or counterbalance it yet. I don't know what that looks like yet. I do recognize though when I'm triggered, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fall back. That's
Yeah.
my main thing. That's my main I'll go to. I'm
You
like,
will
I'm gonna
fall
fall
back.
back. I'm gonna fall back.
I've gotten to that point where like cuz I feel like there's steps to it. So
Yeah.
I know like at this point like my fallback game is strong. Like
Uh,
before I would more like internalize it,
yeah.
and make it seem like, oh, it's my fault that this person, is doing this to me and I would try to keep people around or whatever, but then at the same time kind of hating them.
Right.
Uh but now I'm kind of like, man, nah, fuck it. I don't like what you're saying. You got to go.
Huh.
But then I'm also realizing I probably could have gotten a little bit more information before I just whole ass just let this person go.
That's real.
So,
Mm. A word.
so like, because sometimes like when somebody steps on that trigger, and you're just kind of like, I don't like what I'm hearing. It's
Yeah.
easy for you to get really fearful, and then
Yeah.
it causes me to close up, and I'm like, I'll just leave like this little bit of space open for you.
Yeah.
And if what you say next don't fit in there, you gone. I'm closed on that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Right. Right. Damn. That when you put it like that, it just sounds so callous. But
It,
that's been me too.
it's how I've survived, I guess. But then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but I'm trying to thrive. So is it they
Yes.
gonna serve me? It's but yeah. I think
Yeah.
awareness of it, like I don't expect myself to be perfect, but I'm starting to become aware of
Yeah.
these areas where like you can get a little bit more information before you get whole ass upset.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so we didn't talk about your impact. How has that
Oh,
impacted you? How
oh, I'm
finally
mad.
I see. Okay. Okay. Let us
I'm
know.
mad. I'm
Yeah.
mad. I'm disappointed,
Hmm.
but kind of what you were saying, it made me really because you were talking about your dad and your mom, your parents, how they were like great in the beginning. I can't really say my dad was great in the beginning,
Yeah.
but he was there in the beginning. He was there. Like probably not. He wasn't like in the house there because they weren't even my parents weren't together when they had me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I remember seeing him, he
Yeah.
put shit together, I guess. And, I remember, I think he tried to teach me how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
I remember that he took off one of my training wheels before I was ready. And I was like, you don't know me like that to be thinking you can make these executive decisions. Leave my damn wheel on, you know?
Right. Right.
Um, but like, he was around. And then my mom and we moved out of the country when I was like
Mm.
around 9 or so. And then that's when our relationship really kind of fell apart. Cause
Yeah.
I already wasn't seeing him. It wasn't like I was seeing him every day before. But
Mm.
then when you don't see somebody for like 6 months at a time, a year at a time, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so I guess I want to give him grace, I guess, for the hours he
Beginning.
was there in the
Yeah.
beginning. Um, and then realizing that it probably was hard, with the distance,
Mm.
a long distance father, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's some shit I'm trying to. I don't know if I really think about that. I don't know if I really believe that for real, but it sounds nice. Anyway,
I can't.
I'm trying to be real honest.
All
Like
right.
I want to give this dude grace so bad. Like, I'm trying not to sugarcoat it
Yeah.
because that's what I did before. I want the feeling to be authentic, not
Got you.
just, sugarcoated shit like before.
Right.
So I am working through this. Anyway, so that has been the impact. I have a lot of anger, residual anger. I have trust issues. You know, I have shit to work through. I feel like you whole ass you weren't there. So you would think if somebody really wasn't there and they didn't really participate, that you wouldn't get things from them. You
Mm-hmm.
know? So I'm mad that I feel like I've gotten this thing from him, which
Yeah.
is how I love. Um, yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I try to give myself grace and forgive, uh, before I really felt that authentically.
Yeah.
And without really admitting the real truth is that I borderline hate him.
Damn.
Um, yeah. And I think I shouldn't feel this way. And
Mm-hmm.
society says it's wrong to hate someone, right? You
Yes.
know, especially your own father. I'm
Yeah.
sure in that good old Bible it says something about honoring somebody and something like that, right?
Right.
So, um, but I say borderline because I don't think I really hate him.
Right.
I think I just want him to feel the pain,
Mm-hmm.
and to feel the void that I have because of his absence,
Yeah.
because he sure ain't feel it, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel like as a result of him not being there in this void that he didn't fill, the space he did not occupy, I filled it, and I filled it with shit that I now have to dig out, and I didn't fill it with love. I filled it with the opposite,
Yeah.
doubt, shame, unworthiness, hate, which is really just fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then I created an entire narrative of him and why he wasn't present, that I now have to dismantle because it doesn't really serve me.
Right.
Um, so, long story short, I created a narrative, a fear narrative, that I have to challenge.
Yeah.
Um, and that makes me mad, you know, because I'm realizing in like breaking apart that narrative that I'm emotionally unavailable. Uh,
Damn.
I have a hard time saying I love you. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like and what it means. I see people say it so easily,
Mm-hmm.
love you, and I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? Like, can you
Yeah.
like, and people always say it like when they're getting off the phone, so they don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be like, hold up, that
Wait. Come back.
love you. Why? What is that? What does that mean for you? What does that
Right.
look like? You
Right.
know? Nobody wants to. It's become this thing like when you say hello or how you're doing and you don't
Yeah.
really actually expect an answer,
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm also kind of at this place where I'm realizing it's like not all his fault. You know, I'm assuming that his presence could have helped,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this is part of just me trying to break through that narrative.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to realize, that I love like him
Yeah.
and I do not like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you got to change it for yourself.
And now I got to change it because I realize now, like, I don't know what he realizes about himself, and that doesn't matter. But I realize this, and I'm responsible now. And I spent so much time wanting him to be responsible.
Wow. That's a fucking word.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
word.
Mm,
Yeah.
shit though, but whatever. I'm working on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Woosah.
Right. Right.
Woosah. I feel like,
Chill.
man, this when I knew this episode was coming up, I was excited. And I know you said I was excited, but it was mainly because I wanted to delve deep into the understanding of things because it's easy to go, and I guess I'm kind of getting into my cope here. But were you done? I'm sorry, I didn't want to
Oh
interrupt.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
finished. Yeah,
Um,
so we're in cope now for people listening. We're coping.
yeah, we're coping now. I feel like, man, it's hard. Like I still am honestly, I'm honestly still learning how to cope with it. Um, I think rekindling the relationship with my dad before he passed and receiving some apologies and explanations definitely helped to mend some of the brokenness because, like you, I blamed him for a lot in my life. I'm like, yo, this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have experienced this, blah, blah, blah. Like, da 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 da. You understood me now. I had to explain myself. Like, all this shit.
Hmm.
I heaped all the blame on him. And then having the conversation with him and having the apologies and recognizing that this is another human being. You're
Hmm.
my father, but you're a human being and you made mistakes and you're not perfect and neither am I. You know, it definitely helped to mend some of that that was wounded, but I don't feel like it fully healed the way that I love. So yeah, I have the understanding that you're
Hmm.
human, but it still left me broken in a sense, you know. So recognizing my love style is not even something that I had to think about during this period. Like this is a new thing that I'm having to do because, you know, as some of you know, if you've been following us, I was in a long-term relationship. And so I didn't really have to think about it. Like we just were where we were. We loved how we loved. And I didn't, it was what it was, you know?
Hmm.
But I think I realized the full impact once I got back into the dating world. And even though I'm not like seriously dating anyone, I'm not dating anyone at all. But like I think even I started liking people. Let's just say that.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
started liking people. I'd be liking them tough.
Hmm.
I'd be like, okay,
Hmm.
okay, Rena. But
What?
I be liking people. But then as soon as something feels like a little bit shaky, I'm talking about like a little bit, I'd be like, nope. I'm taking my little light back. Let me snatch that back from you. We can be cool, but I'm hella good on that. You're not gonna have this heart crushed. I am already. I think too the thing is like I'm already on the mend from heartbreak, so I'm even more extra cautious, even more than I might would have been before. But I'm
I
like,
was. Mhm. I was
you
gonna
what,
ask you. I was like, do you feel like that's kind of like compounded,
girl?
like
Yeah,
that underlying issue? Like, if you hadn't gone through that, like,
it would
would
be.
it?
Yeah, I feel like it would still be cautious in nature with giving away, you know, something so dear and so tender as my heart. Like, you know, because I'm a sensitive ass nigga. Like that's just the truth. I got a hard outward shell and I don't really feel like I need anyone. I'm cool being alone. I like being alone, but like I'm really sensitive. I'm very sensitive. And like to give that over to you and you can do what you want with it, that shit's already scary enough. But then to have gone through this heartbreak and be trying to mend my heart while also still trying to like step foot and see what it looks like to maybe like people again. And like it's very frightening. It's very scary. And like I said, let something be a little bit shaky. Boop, snatch that thing right on back. Rena can vouch. I be having crushes. I be like, oh, I got a crush. Oh, what's up with not shit? Nothing. We cool. We friends. We're friendly. But baby, that heart that belongs to me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Um, but I think like talking with Rena, talking with my friends, and really assessing what my love style is, um, what I want and need really, um, I have to be like open to what that looks like. Like, you know what I mean? Just being honest with myself and saying aloud, and I've never said aloud before that I have abandonment issues, is how I'm coping. Just being honest and like shining a light on a place I'd really rather not think about.
Right.
Because like if there's a light there, now I'm like, damn, I really need to focus on healing that particular trauma so that when I am ready to love again, I can do it with my full self and not so tentatively. Because I feel like, being, I can assess that on the outside, if I'm looking at someone else and they're loving me tentatively, that doesn't feel easy. And
Mm,
I don't want to be hard to love.
mm, mm.
I don't want to be hard to love. And um yeah, so really just assessing it and seeing like what can I do? And it's like steps and it's like no real answer to how to heal these traumas. I think that's the main thing that's so frustrating. It's like if they could give me, I told you, I've been needing a rubric for life. If they could give me
We
the rubric, just give me the point blank step by step. I will follow all the steps in order. I will do it multiple times, whatever I got to do, but nobody has a playbook. And so I
no,
guess it's just recognizing it, acknowledging it, and saying like, this is a situation, now that I'm
right.
recognizing it's a situation. And um, I don't know, just being graceful with myself, like you say all the time, and being willing to receive the amount of love and affection and attention and adoration that I say I want.
Right.
Being actually open to it because I do want that. But can I really accept it right now? I don't know.
I was just about to say, like, just listening to you talk, it makes me realize, oh shit, we gotta we gotta accept it. Like, no relationship is
Mhm.
gonna be perfect.
Right.
Whether it's with your spouse or a friendship or a sibling, or a parent or a boss, there's always, because we're human and we're different, there's always
Right.
gonna be something that's gonna come up. And it's almost like, instead of, I feel like we focus so hard on trying to find like this perfect relationship and make sure nothing ever goes wrong. What would happen if we just said, okay, life, if we think about life, there's joy and pain in it.
Hmm.
What if our relationships also mirror life?
Yeah.
So it's just like we just got to accept that, hey, this person's going to say some fucked up shit or do some fucked up shit because we are all fucked up. you
Yeah.
know
I don't want to. I want
I
them to
don't
be
either.
perfect.
Yeah, or for me, I'm like, I want you to be wrong. And I think that's my problem, because I think you being
Uh,
wrong means I'm right, which is
okay.
such a Virgo thing, and I don't know where that came from.
Because you got Virgo in your chart. Try again.
Whatever.
Huh. Why she be going in
Exactly.
on us, Virgos?
It's self-hate. No. um but
But
yeah, just listen to you talk. Like, I mean, I'm saying these things, I'm saying it out of my mouth
right. But in your heart.
intellectually, but in my heart, I'm like, fuck everything you saying right now.
Oh my God. For real. It's
But
hard. But how do you
yeah,
cope? How are you coping with learning about your love style and, everything like that?
well, like I said, I always talk about my life coach. And she has me reading the 12 Steps to Forgiveness. It's by Paul Ferrini.
Okay.
And that book makes me mad. So, but all of what she's trying to get me to do is kind of, it's like, just work on being honest with myself and my feelings, and then forgiving myself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, she gave me this assignment, and she's like, I need to like dig out the history, because when I think about like my relationship with my father or lack thereof, it's like, okay, look at the history, try to get the facts, what was happening, history about him and his family. And then when I think about that and I take that into account, it really does fucking make sense.
Yeah.
It's it's all of, like, we all have our shit. He's a
Yeah.
shitty father because he probably had a shitty father.
Hmm.
And the fact that I don't know for sure if he had a shitty father or not probably is a sign that he had a shitty father.
Yeah.
uh, and I have a shitty way of expressing and accepting love because of my history with him, and like just family, people, and this is all my shit.
Yeah.
He's a piece of it, but overall it's about me, and the forgiveness is for me. It's not
Right.
for him, you
Mhm.
know. So I'm coping by doing this work on me, um, trying to iron out like what I believe, trying to dig through and see what the narrative is that I'm telling myself,
Yeah.
just about like that expectation I've set on him,
Mhm.
what I wanted from him, and trying to see, because like you said, like we have this narrative of saying, oh, this X, Y, and Z wouldn't have happened if you were here, or
Right.
I would have been this person, if you were here, but he wasn't. So it's like,
Right.
why am I spending time thinking about this? Why can't I
Yeah.
let that go? Um, so I feel like I'm just trying to make some progress on some things.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like once I really kind of break through, then I'll be closer and closer to joy, because that's really my goal. My overall goal, this is why I'm doing this. I'm not having this conversation, or I'm not even digging through like my issues with my relationship with him for him,
Mhm.
you know. I'm at this point where I don't want to hate him more than I want joy. And I feel like if
Mm.
I have all of this hate towards him, it literally prevents me from feeling joy.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want to get to that point where I think of him, and like I'm gonna choose to say, you know what, I want to be joyful today. So either
Yeah.
I stop thinking about him, or I need to be able to like summon some grace or some type of understanding, because when I think about him now, he just sucks all the joy out of my life, and
Yeah.
that's not really. I don't want that.
Mhm.
It's not about him and what he did or what he did. I just don't want that. Whatever
Yeah.
feeling I have, whatever has connected in my head to make that happen, I don't
Mhm.
want that anymore for myself. So yeah, that's how I'm coping. I'm realizing it's my responsibility. That's
Yeah.
that's just the overall message, is that
Yeah.
my responsibility. And I think I've been trying to be okay and forgive prematurely. So now
Mhm.
I'll take a few steps back and get
Mm.
angry again. I think I have to go through the steps of grief, really,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
release him, because I just want to release him. You know, I don't even know if that's really what I need to do. It's just
Yeah.
whatever this feeling is that I have
Mhm.
towards him, I want to release that.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like that's really the healthiest way to do it because, like you were saying earlier, like the forgiveness and the moving on and the moving forward, that's not for him. A lot of times we hold on to these things because, like you said, you want them to feel how hurt you felt. I want you to feel the sadness I felt or the despair or the whole, and they will never feel that. That's
The
your feeling.
daydreams, the
Yeah.
daydreams I've had, like I've wanted to do some type of like barbaric,
Oh
like
my God.
army torture to this man. Like I've never wanted him to die.
Right.
Like
You just wanted him to feel
I've
the pain.
right, like just
Wow.
like I said, I think I've said like skip a few steps, twist his ankle, like
Oh
everything.
Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Get a
Uh-huh.
paper cut on every page he turns, that type of
Oh,
shit. You know,
wow.
bite his
Right,
cheek
but
while chewing and bite his tongue while
oh, that's
chewing
the
all the time,
worst.
and then only have orange juice to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like,
You got all kind of torture methods. Okay.
right. I'm like, that can't be healthy.
That can't be healthy.
That can't be.
Right.
You need to let that
Right.
go.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to have those initial feelings, but I think to sit and harbor on what you
Oh, it's
don't have. It's kind of like the Mother's Day episode. We can't
yeah.
think about what we don't have because then you're not working on getting what you need. You know what I mean? And like
Exactly.
and that's for me too, like just working on not working on focusing on the heartbreak, not focusing on if you're gonna hurt me. Like I want to
Yeah.
focus on you or a person being, a positive person in my life or work on being accepting of whatever good energy they do and can give because everybody can't give you everything, and
Right.
so just being accepting of the goodwill or the kindness or the warmth or whatever it is you feel with a person, being okay with that. And if something doesn't, I'm just working on how to move through some of these feelings that I'm feeling because like I don't want it to trigger me to where I'm just like, ugh. Oh, what? What?
I
It
just
looked like you
remember
got something to say.
something.
Okay,
I
tell me.
do. I do. Okay. I read somewhere. I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
But they say like people can't hurt you like you hurt you.
Oh, that's real shit.
Because, I think about it like sometimes like, somebody will say something to me and I will whole ass get hurt and they'll be looking at me like, I don't know why. I just asked you, you know, can you pass me the saucer? Like, but I'm just saying, like, I just realized that it's like being hurt by something. It's like people's words literally can't hurt me
Right.
unless I allow it, unless I've assigned something to it,
That's true.
some
That's
type of
very true.
fear to it.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes, where we're trying to protect ourselves from people hurting us, but it's not them. It's us hurting ourselves because this person has said
Uh,
something.
you're
I
right.
know, right?
That's I don't want it to be me though.
It is.
Ah.
It
No, it's
is.
them. It's everybody else, Rena. You're right though. That's real shit. That's real shit. It's only the things that you've assigned that are gonna hurt
Oh
you.
my gosh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad at
Why you
that
mad?
situation because I'm just like, oh no, like, like I'm
Right.
fighting myself right now. Like, no, because I was whole ass abandoned. Like,
Right.
no,
Right. Right. I didn't abandon
but
myself.
right, and like takes two to tango. Somebody has to be there, and somebody has to not be there. Somebody has
Right.
to leave. It wasn't me.
Right. It
Still
wasn't
there,
me. Right. That
but
part. Oh my God.
I
I don't
could have said like 11-year-old me could have been like, he has a shitty father. That's why he's leaving. And be like, shitty fathers happen. I guess I have a shitty father. It could be whole ass like, huh? You
know.
know,
Right. I
but
mean, that's a lot of maturity for 11.
right? No, I ain't have that.
That's a lot of maturity for my 30s.
Right,
I'm
exactly. I don't even have
still
it
working
now.
through it.
No, mm-mm. Whatever you said, other self was real nice and all. Whatever.
Right, right.
She
But
tripping.
I mean, honestly, I do think it's a great revelation to have for yourself, and it releases a lot of the anger that sometimes just sits there, and the frustration, and then those things turn into all these other triggers. Like I recognize in myself, like. And this is even for friendships. I just remember there would be a lot of times people would do one thing and I'd just be like, nah,
Like
I'm
take too
good
long
on
to get.
you. Uh, if every time you take too long to get ready, I don't think I would cut you off, but I would stop hanging out with your ass like
I was.
that. Like,
I
come
was just
on
thinking about that story you told, like way, way in the beginning of this,
now.
about your
What?
surprise party, and you was
Oh
about to
my
just whole
God.
ass, just
Oh
like,
my God. I was so mad. When I tell you I was so mad, but at that point we was for real already friends. We was already friends and they knew me and I knew them, but I was just pissed. I was just like, But I think I don't know. I have issues. I got issues.
I
And I'm
mean,
recognizing and I'm working
I,
through them.
I think that's by design. I'm just realizing the more and more I get through this, like it's by design that we all have issues.
Yeah.
That we're probably down here to sort those out.
Right. As much as uncomfortable as that was for you to say.
Was I'm like,
Really though. I
I was like,
mean,
don't tell them.
right. I mean, it's true though. It's true. I mean, I'm grateful to have these conversations with you though, because like I said, I was excited to have this conversation only because I knew that it was a tough one. And we're laughing a lot, but there's really a lot of pain behind some of the things. There's really a lot of healing that needs to take place, and I know that for myself. Just
Yeah.
I we said so. The title of this is actually a lyric from a song, and I sat and I listened to that song all day, and I really sat and thought about some things that were really very hard. There was so many moments and during that time frame of my father's absence that were very painful, and instead of like dealing with it and saying I'm sad and being, torn up about it, then I very much so just said, okay, whatever, it is what it is. But it wasn't what it was. It was very painful. And that shit
Mm,
hurt. and I was sad about it. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't cry and I didn't, make a fuss. But I feel like,
Right.
maybe I should have. Maybe I should have
Mm-hmm.
cried about it. Maybe I should have made a fuss. But,
Yeah.
you feel like you have to just move forward and move on. But
Right.
sometimes we are moving forward with so much baggage that it's still hard to like literally move on or move forward.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
just having this conversation has been really helpful to like really dive into some of those painful memories and say like, yeah, that shit hurt. That hurt my
Right.
feelings. That hurt my heart. Like,
Yeah.
why weren't you there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like I
Yeah.
waited for years, decades for this man to come around and say, you know what? I acknowledge that my presence here probably made you feel like X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, how can I expect that from him if I whole ass won't acknowledge it?
Wow.
It's like I have to acknowledge, that I was worth more, that I deserved more,
Yeah.
and that he did a shitty job. Like it was only, I think I just admitted to myself that he really did a shitty job, probably maybe like 4 years ago,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
know? Um, because he was, like I said, there slightly in the beginning, but like I wouldn't even allow myself to say he was like a bad father because like I can't say he beat me, he didn't
Yeah.
molest me, he didn't cuss me out, I didn't see him drink excessively, like
Hmm.
I didn't see like those stereotypical you ain't shit dad like things from him. He just was
Right.
absent, and I
Yeah.
think we give so many passes for dads being absent, I
Hmm.
feel. Um, and so I felt like I shouldn't have been affected by it because
Yeah.
he didn't do all those things. But, going to therapy, she was like, that's fucked up, right? I was like, what you mean?
Which is
She's like, right. She's like, that is not normal. I was like, what you mean? I
like,
really didn't. I really didn't know. I felt like I couldn't give myself permission
yeah.
to feel like that was fucked up.
Yeah. Wow.
So where did that energy go? Because I was feeling some type of way. I was angry. So where did it go?
Right.
It went into me. I
Exactly.
I absorbed that hit
Mm-hmm.
for his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no more.
Yeah.
That's when
That's
I started daydreaming about him tripping down steps and shit.
oh God.
And then I'm like, I can't keep harboring this hate.
Right. Right.
Like,
So now you're moving through it.
yeah, I just want to get to that point where I think about him and it doesn't make me go like, ooh,
Yeah.
fucking nigga, just you know?
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's good though. I think this is it's interesting because sometimes we have things all buttoned up in our episodes,
Yeah.
and this episode is very much like we're working through it. And
Yeah.
if any of you are working through things, it's okay. We're moving through, we're finding our way, and there will be progress as long as we can shine a light on something. And even if it takes however long it takes, just the fact that there will be progress, that the fact that you can see that there's an issue, you shown a light on it, and steps are being made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not always gonna look pretty all the time, and that's why we call this a
A
mess.
mess. Oh, that was succinct. So we did that together.
And just like one more thing, I don't actually expect an answer, but just this thing that's been whispering in my head throughout this, and I swear it's not schizophrenia, I promise.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
I really don't know. But anyway, I just think about like being like black women, like like both of us, even though your father, he started out strong, eventually something happened and he, took a detour and he went missing. And I just think about how prevalent that is in the black community. And I just wonder, like on a larger scale, now I think about on a larger scale, just like the impact of that because I was talking to a black young man recently and he was talking about how he doesn't see older men.
Mm,
He doesn't see 40-year-old men. He doesn't see 30-year-old men. It's just like, and he's like in his early 20s.
yeah.
And he's like, and he when he talks to his friends, they say like they don't think they're gonna see 18, 20, 25, 30. And I always think about it, oh, you live in like a rough neighborhood, either you're gonna get shot. And yeah, maybe it's that too. But then it's also you literally don't see men who are 30, who are 40, who are
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
you know. So I just think about the larger impact. My father wasn't available. Yours wasn't available.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Black children, their fathers aren't available,
Mm-hmm.
and just what that's done to us as a community as a whole. Because I really do believe my father wasn't there because his father wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and his father's father probably wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, I don't expect an answer, but I just, for some reason, felt the need to say that.
I mean, that is a really heavy question, and I think it's gonna take some time to really think about, but it's definitely an impact. I think it's definitely impacted our community as a whole. My younger brother has said that. He said, women have mothers and grandmothers and aunts to help raise them and teach them what it is to be a woman and teach them this and teach them that. And men, young boys don't have that.
Hmm.
And I said, "You're right." Because we have rubrics and we have things in place, even if it's not something you like, oh, I don't want to do that, but at least you have a format of what womanhood looks like because there's your aunts and you have your cousins and you have, a lot of things and a lot of women around, and men may not necessarily have that same blueprint.
Hmm.
And I feel like the younger generations is doing a better job, though. I
I
see a
think,
lot of the younger generation being there for their kids, being very present and very aware of their actions and how that's going to affect their kids. And I'm really grateful to see that
yeah,
shift and that change. So I'm
yeah.
hoping that's not going to be the conversation that future generations have to have.
I hope
So
not.
tough.
I think it's part of understanding the history, though, when we're even considering our own fathers.
Hmm.
I think that's why I'm really bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's because we have to think about that. We have to think about like the example that's been set for Black manhood, like on a whole.
Yeah.
Um, and I know when I was younger or when I was growing up, it probably didn't seem like a big deal
Yeah.
for him not to be there. Like, and I just finished watching Insecure, and I apologize if this is a spoiler, but it shouldn't
Maybe.
be.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe. No.
no, no.
No. No.
Really? Oh, but it's such a
No.
good point. Ah, fucking damn.
Can you say the point without bringing insecure in it? Ah. I just don't know who's listening. I know I haven't seen it. So for those of you who's
Okay,
not
never
seen it, I'm
mind.
sticking up for y'all. We don't want to be spoiled. Give us time.
Okay, all
Give
right.
us a little time.
All right, fine. You'll get it though. I planted a seed. So if you listen to this and you watch Insecure, try to,
Remember.
based off of this, try to figure out what I could possibly be talking about.
Right. Read her mind.
Precisely.
Okay, so should we do like a recap then? Is that where we
Yeah.
are now?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So to recap, both Rena and I have had issues with our fathers, both coming from different places. Rena's father was absent or there at the beginning and then absent. My father was also there at the beginning and then largely absent and then returned. We've recognized that that has affected our love, and while we would love to give them all the credit for the issues that has brought upon us, we recognize that this is on us to deal with. It is our issues to dive into and to heal and to correct. So through it all, we acknowledge that our fathers were maybe the start of some of these things, but it is on us. It is important for us to recognize and to heal and to work on it for ourselves. Was
That
that good?
was very well put.
Thank you. I do try.
Yeah.
I do what I can. I do what I can. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness.
Let's just
Um,
okay.
well,
Let's
is there
let's
anything else? Should we wind it
no,
down?
I would say yeah, let's wind it down because I will keep talking. So let's wind it down.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
do your thing.
Well, this has been a very interesting episode, and I definitely need this part of the segment because, whoo, that was heavy. But if you're new, this is my favorite part of the podcast. This is the meditation segment. And what we'll do is take a couple deep breaths, we'll set our intentions, and then we'll let you go about your day. So go ahead and take a big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take a last deep breath. All right, I'm going to set my intention. My intention for the day is to recognize some of the triggers that I have when it comes to love and relationships, to acknowledge that I need to work on healing myself and being open to love and affection and attention from others.
And my intention is to approach my issues with love from a place beyond, my daddy issues, and from a place of vulnerability, truth, honoring myself, grace, and forgiveness so that I can experience peace and joy in my life.
That's beautiful. We'll take our last set of deep breaths. Take a big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take our last deep breath. All right, your intentions have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish, sis. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
So, Liz, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. We really appreciate you guys' continued support. We appreciate you guys tuning in on the lives. And if you're new, we go live after each episode on Sunday. That's going to be 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific time. And we also can be found on all the social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail. That's going to be It's a Mess Sis. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, that's going to be It's a Mess Sis podcast. I did want to do a shout out really quick. We've had so many comments about the new format of our episodes, and I wanted to give an official shout out to Honestly Nay for her creative consultation. If you are a creative and you're looking for ways to achieve your goals and things of that nature, I would highly recommend giving her a shout. You can find her at her website, honestlynae.com. That's HONESTLYNAE.com, or all the social media platforms with the same handle except for Facebook because they beefing right now. But yeah, we want to give a shout out and tell you thank you for supporting us and for giving us your tips and tidbits. And yeah, I think that's going to be all for this episode. Thank y'all so much for listening. Anything else you want to add, Rena?
Nope.
All right, we'll holler at y'all on the flip side.
Peace.
It's a mess.
Hey, that's all I can do.
It's
I
a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.